Now, it's no secret that I'm a sucker for a good stick, and I have a whole playlist of videos talking about stick fighting arts from around the world and ages, how to make a good stick, its many uses for the outdoors, and much, much more. In this video, I want to share one of my favourite stick fighting workouts, based on movements from a book written in the 1800s. This training isn't only good for HEMA and other weapon-based martial arts, but it's a fantastic way to train strength and conditioning in your grip, your arms, and your shoulders. So stick around and let's get into it. Hi folks, Tom from FindAbidozi and TomLanghorne.com. Thanks for tuning in. So I've shared a similar workout in one of my past videos titled Forest Warrior Monk Training. But in this video, I want to break down the movements a little bit more, focus on them and get them a bit more concise. So in this video, I'm going to cover three things. First of all, I want to give you a bit of the historical context on where these movements come from. Secondly, I will run through the actual movements and what constitutes good form. And then thirdly, I will give you ideas on how you can progress this training from easy to hard so that you can continue to strengthen and condition your arms. But if you want to learn more, if you want to learn my warm-ups, my movement meditation, my principles of good fighting form, the basics of stick fighting, my staff flows, and even how to get started in staff sparring, then head over to my online course, Resilient Roots Survival Training for the Art of Living. There you'll get access to a private online community. We've already got a bunch of cool people there already. You can ask me questions, you can share videos of your staff training, and I will personally answer your questions and give you feedback on your training if you so wish. And the staff martial arts is just one module in an entire learning curriculum, all based on building resilience and flow in the foundations of our human needs. I will teach you the principles of survival skills, and we generally discuss on how we can escape the human zoo, which the world seems to be turning into at the moment. So if you want to learn more, click the link below or go to my website, TomLanghorne.com. So let me briefly give you some historical context on where these movements come from, because I know many of my subscribers love the history side of things. Now, I've covered a few different staff martial arts on this channel, but one of my favorites is the French Great Stick, especially from the Jean Field edition. To me, it's got the right balance of, it looks cool, it's fun, it's quite an effective combat sport, and you can quite quickly train a beginner the basics so that you can get started in stick sparring. Lots of similar movements between different historical European martial arts, but these particular movements I got inspired from this book, which was written in 1888 by this Michael Caine lookalike, Alfred Hutton. Cold Steel, The Art of Fencing with a Saber. So it's mainly talking about saber fighting, but he's got a chapter looking at the French Great Stick or Baton. And one of the foundational movements are called the Moulines. And these were seen even in Italian systems. They could go back as far as 16th century, 17th century, and in the Jean Field tradition, they were being trained right up to the early 20th century. So they were being trained for a long time. Now, what's the purpose of these exercises in terms of weapon-based martial arts? Well, Mr. Hutton tells us. So he has a little section on the Moulines. Now, a moulinet just translates from French as reel, as in like a fishing reel, or a reel you're doing a dance. Essentially a circular motion. So, this is what Hutton has to say about them. As in the saber practice, so here the moulinet is the means whereby to obtain suppleness and agility, as well as to acquire the method of directing the cuts. So, suppleness, right? Looseness and agility, that's what these movements are designed to do. He goes on, the Italian school has a large number of these moulinets, in which I think only 6 are really necessary. So that's where I first heard about these movements. He goes on to teach it in his own way, but I have changed it slightly to a way that I think is easier to teach beginners, and is a bit more applicable to when you actually get to the staff fighting or the staff sparring. So that's the history out of the way. Let me show you the movements. Okay, so what you will need for this training is a stick and some space to swing it about. The stick, it doesn't need to be special. It can be a broom handle, a piece of bamboo, a piece of pipe, doesn't really matter. Ideally, you want it to be light when you start off with. I'll then show you, you can go heavier if you want later on when you're progressing. The height of it, you want it somewhere between sternum height and the height of you. You don't want it way too big or way too small, but yeah, somewhere between sternum and head height is fine. Space to swing it around so you're not going to hit anyone or break anything. Make sure you warm up, especially warm up your shoulders and your wrists. Again, on the online course, I'll teach you all my warm-ups. Now, first of all, the basic grip. So what we're going to do is lead with our right hand first, and we're going to have our left hand just behind it. You want a little bit of a butt of the stick, not too much that it's going beyond your elbow, somewhere about this, somewhere around your elbow. So that's how much the end of the stick you want poking out. So that's how we're going to be holding it, nice and loose. Now, Hutton in his book, he talks about having the feet together and having your arms outstretched like this. That's how he starts. But I like to just tell people to just always get in the fencing stance, always be in the fighting stance, so people are just always there as default, don't get confused. So our fencing stance, if we've got our right hand is forward, then that right foot is pointing forwards. Imagine if there's an opponent there. The left foot is somewhere between 45 degrees and 90 degrees, and our arms out straight like this. Not super out stiff, not elbows bent like a T-Rex, somewhere in the middle like this. So this is our starting stance. Now I'm essentially going to be doing these Moulinies, these staff circles, on 3 planes of rotation, okay? And I'm going to call them the inside, the outside, and the horizontal. Okay, so when I say an inside rotation or an inside Moulinie, I'm doing it this way. It's inside my shoulders. Okay? When I'm doing an outside Moulinie or outside rotation, it's on the outside of my shoulders. It's kind of almost going behind my back. And when I'm doing a horizontal Moulinie, it's on a plane horizontally above my head. Okay? Either from right to left or left to right. Okay, so the first one is the inside Moulinie, or the inside rotation. So if my right hand is leading, what we're doing is we're letting the point of the stick drop in front of us, the side of us, and we're actually doing a push-pull movement with our wrists. I'll come up closer, you can see that. So as you can see, I'm letting that drop, and I'm actually pushing slightly with my left hand and pulling slightly with my right. Push, pull. Push with the left, pull with the right. And notice I'm keeping my arms outstretched. Okay, so that's the first one. That's the descending Moulinie on the inside. Now I'll show you an ascending Moulinie on the inside. So essentially here, what we're doing is we're letting the stick come towards our head, drop on the inside of our body, and we're coming up as if we're uppercutting someone, if you're striking someone under their elbow or under their wrist. Okay, it's this movement. And what we're doing here again is a subtle push-pull with our hands. So as I'm bringing it towards my head, I'm pulling slightly with my right hand and pushing with my left. And then as it drops, I'm pulling with my left and pushing with my right. Just like this. So remember, we're staying in that kind of fencing stance. And we're doing an ascending Moulinie. Ascending Moulinie in the inside. Okay? So next thing is to do the same but on the outside. So if we're doing a descending Moulinie in the outside of our body, okay, we're having the stick out straight. So this, we're letting it drop, but it's coming almost behind our back. And again, when we let it drop, we're pulling slightly with the right and pushing slightly with the left. So that's a descending Moulinie on the outside. And again, ascending Moulinie on the outside. We're doing the same thing as before. Pushing with our left hand, pulling with the right hand to bring it towards our head on the outside of us. And then when we're coming up for that uppercut, we're just pulling slightly with our left hand and pushing slightly with our right. Like this. Okay, for these horizontal mule knees, again, we're keeping our arms out. We're not really at the point where we're trying to develop big, powerful cuts like when we do later on in this stick fighting training. We're keeping our arms outstretched. Remember, this is just a suppleness training exercise. We're not fighting, we're not sparring at this point. We're almost doing a helicopter motion, all right? Like this. So at the moment, I'm going from my right to left, from my outside to my inside. This is my outside, this is my inside. I'm doing horizontal motions like this. And once again, we're doing this subtle push-pull with our right and left. So if I come a bit closer without hitting the camera, when I'm coming from my right to my left, I'm pulling a little bit with my left hand, pushing a little bit with my right, and then when it's coming back towards me, I'm pushing a little bit with my left and pulling a little bit on my right. Try not to hit yourself in the head. You want to be nice and relaxed. So that's horizontal from outside to inside. Then you do horizontal from inside to outside. So in this case, left to right. Doing these circles, okay? That's inside to outside, outside to inside. Those are the basic mule knees on the three planes of rotation. I would emphasize train both sides. So I've just been doing all of those with my right hand leading and my right foot leading. Train both sides so that you'll do it with your left hand leading and your left foot leading, fencing stance like this, okay? Okay, so those are the basic principles of the movements. Now let me show you how I put them into a workout and how you can progress the workout. I start off with a nice light stick. I then move on to heavier sticks, and I'm essentially just doing 10 mule knees, 10 reps per side. So I'm starting off, my right hand is leading, my right foot is leading, and I'm doing 10 descending the inside. 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 descending the outside. 4, 5, 7, 8, 10 ascending the inside. 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 ascending the outside. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Right to left, horizontal. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Left to right, horizontal. 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. And then without a break, I just swap hands, so it's left hand is leading, left foot is leading. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Don't think I did ascending today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 6, 7, 9, 10. I'm not as good in the left side. And you can see that's with a light stick, and I'm already completely out of breath. Now, some ideas to progress them. Ideas to progress them is get used to flowing them together. So you can flow the inside and the outside into one kind of figure of 8 movement. If you want to turn descending into ascending, just simply turn around. Right? You can get practice at flowing the different planes of rotation altogether. That'd be my first progression. Second progression, if you're up for it, get a bigger, heavier stick. This is my oak quarterstaff. It weighs nearly 2 kilos. I think it's a kilo and a half or something. This is when you start to feel the burn. Okay, so we're gonna be doing mule knees, inside descending. Outside descending. Just gonna swap turn around and do ascending. Oh. Horizontal. You can probably tell by how out of breath I am. It's amazing how much of a workout it does to just all your little tendons in your forearms and little rotational cuffs and then your shoulders. The sort of muscles that are really hard to work out with normal gym equipment. So essentially I'll probably do 10 of each, maybe for 3 sets depending on how I'm feeling. But I tend to just go until you can't go any longer, until you're absolutely burned. So I hope you enjoyed this video, folks. I hope it inspired you to get some weapons-based workouts. If you want to learn more and come join the Resilient Roots tribes, then click that link below to my online course, Resilient Roots Survival Training for the Art of Living. It'd be great to see you over in the community page. It'd be great to have another stick fighter in the world. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, leave a wee comment. It will help the algorithm spread the good news of the stick to the rest of the world. And I'll see you in another video soon. Cheers.